I'm Lorna and welcome back to my channel Thread and Yarn. It's all about knitting, sewing, natural dyeing, cozy crafting stuff. So today is going to be a little December update for you. I quite like filming these once a month just to give you a bit of an update about what has been going on, what I've been working on, what ideas I've got, how they've changed from the last month and the new ones that have come into my head since. And I also like it as a little reminder of what season it is and what things provide what use to me at what point in the year, and it helps me to sort of verbalise those thoughts and talk about them with you as I plan them. So I hope it's interesting for you as well and that you enjoy it. I really like hearing about what you're working on throughout the year as well. So please do let me know in the comments as usual, because you always give me so many wonderful ideas. So thanks for joining in. I've got a few things to talk to you about today. I don't think it'll be as long a video as normal, but that's because I am going to do some extra ones throughout winter and I don't want to overload you with stuff. Also, I've been quite busy doing lots of things, so I haven't made as many things or finished as many things, but that's okay. I don't want to just keep making and making and making. I want to be thinking about what I'm doing, and I've got some exciting plans, some of which I've told you about, some of which are new. Thanks also for the interest in my Copenhagen wool shop video. I had such a good time making it, and also just being in Copenhagen obviously with all the wool, and it was really lovely to have that kind of response and also to hear your thoughts, either that you like to go there or wool shops in your area, or that you've been to Copenhagen and what your experiences were. So thank you for engaging, and hello to anyone new to my channel. Thank you for joining. Hopefully this is just a nice cozy corner of the internet and YouTube, and I hope you like it. But welcome, and yeah, I like to try and create a community atmosphere in here in the comments and everything, so get involved if you feel like it. But yeah, thank you for joining. So grab a cup of tea or something, get cozy, and let's have a little December update chat. So first off, I thought I'd just show you what I'm wearing today. None of these are new. I've had both of these for over a year, but I really love them and I'm feeling super cozy. So I just thought I'd show you. I'm really feeling reds and browns at the moment. I always love brown, but I'm loving these sort of deep orangey reds and jewel tones because it just makes me feel really cozy and really settling into winter. And I still feel like it is part of my autumn colour palette, the kind of muted, sludgy colours. But you've probably seen both of these before if you've been to my channel. This is the zero waist gather dress, and I made it with puffed sleeves and a bound sleeve edge. I'm wearing them more and more at the moment because, well, I love them anyway, but because I'm going to do this zero waist gather dress workshop in the spring, I've been wearing them a lot to get an idea about which variations and hacks and things I want to be able to show you as well, and also just become more and more familiar with the dresses, of which I think I've made about 4 of them so far, so I wear them quite a bit. This one is the only one I've done with puffed sleeves, and it's got quite a lot of drama. It was my Christmas dress last year, so maybe that's why I'm wearing it at this time of year as well. But I don't normally wear it with a knitted vest, but today it was a bit chilly for just wearing by itself, so I put it on with this vest number 1 by My Favourite Things Knitwear. I knitted it in Knitting for Olive merino and their mohair held double, and it's really cozy. The mohair sort of fills the gaps and makes it a warmer layer. I like the shaping of this vest as well, and that it goes a bit more over my shoulders. It's a nice cut, as it were, but also it's just that extra little bit of warmth. And I like the high neckline and doubled over neckline. I'm a big fan of that on high necked knitted things. So I'm quite enjoying these two naturally toned colours together. And underneath I've got a very old make, which I wear quite a lot in the winter and I need to make some more of. It was just a self-drafted t-shirt, high-necked t-shirt, but I dyed it about 5 or 6 years ago in avocados. It was one of my first natural dyeing experiments. It was really pinky peachy at the time, and then I tie-dyed it with some iron so that it would have kind of purpley pinky tie-dye effect. I must have washed it, I don't know, 100 times over those 6 years, so a lot of the colour is faded, but it's still got this nice pinky tone to it, with some slightly more grey patches from the iron you can see here. But it's really cosy, and I've learnt so much about dyeing and sewing since then, but it's just a really nice layer, and it's 100% cotton. And you know, when you wear cotton a lot, I always think that's about bed linen, it just gets really like this really cozy feel to it. It's almost like it's got a kind of memory. I don't know if that sounds strange, but it just has a real suppleness to it. I feel like fabrics and fibre just kind of hold memories of the people that wear them. But maybe that's me. But it's yeah, it's a really cosy layer, and I like wearing it under things. So I'll show you a full length shot as well. But I'm feeling pretty cosy. I've got leggings on, and I have some knitted socks, not by me, by a company. I got them for Christmas, I'm not sure, can't remember who. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good today in this outfit, and it makes me feel kind of special. Even though I'm just at home, I'm just working on some knitting and a bit of writing, but it feels nice to put on a lovely dress. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about sewing first, and then I'll move on to knitting. So sewing wise, I actually haven't made anything new this month other than the bag that I showed you in my Copenhagen video. I'll just grab it. Sorry if you've already seen this, but it's the Making Backpack by Noodlehead. I made it in a canvas from Race Stitch. All the bits are from Race Stitch actually, all the webbing, the zip, the hardware. It was a great backpack to take on holiday. The lining I got from a D-stash from Nina from Sewing Writer, and I absolutely love that pop of colour. I still need to bind the edges on the inside. I ran out of time to do that. But I am going to do that, but it's going to be a New Year thing because it's structurally sound. It's just a nice little finishing thing that I definitely will get round to. But I really like this, and I like the expanding pocket on the front for extra room. I like the zip there at the front. I like the fact that there's another secure zip on the inside, and there's just loads and loads of volume. It was also perfect to take as hand luggage. It just went straight under the plain seat in front. And yeah, the only other thing I was thinking was, could I attach some kind of like bottle holder or something? Sometimes I like to pop things like that, especially if I was to take this out on a walk. It might be quite nice to have an easily accessible pocket, maybe with a bit of elastic or something. But I might make a slightly smaller version and have a go at something like that. See if I can hack that. Yeah, I'd recommend this pattern. I love the colours as well. I'm a really big fan of them. So that was a really nice make. But that's the only thing, I can't really say finished because I haven't done the binding. Everything else is kind of still in progress because I've been quite busy on other things, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But in terms of things sewing related, I have shown you a bit before, but haven't talked loads about it. But I've got this burgundy, quite wide cord fabric, just given it a wash, that I am going to make some wide leg Helen trousers from, by Helen, or Helen jeans. I got this fabric for free from Green and Velvet, well, in exchange for a post about it. But it's a company I really wanted to try. I haven't had anything from them before, but they seem like they're quite an ethical company and got good sustainability values. So I thought it'd make a lovely pair of wide leg Helen jeans. I've made them in my brown cord jeans before, but I quite wanted some nice wide leg ones, and I thought it'd look cute with a little cardigan or vest on top. So what I've done so far is cut it out, and I have overlocked some of the edges in preparation for making them. That might happen next week if I get time. It's the week before Christmas, so we'll see. I have other things to do, but yeah, I think these will be nice. I love cords in the winter. I find them really warm, and I haven't really got any wide leg ones, so I think that'd be quite fun. I know that the fit around the bum and the hips and stuff for the Helen jeans fits me well, so maybe I'll make them up and I'll talk a little bit about the fit. Let me know if you think that'd be useful for you, but it can be kind of hard to fit jeans. I'm by no means an expert, and there are plenty of people who are more educated than I am on the future fit of jeans, but I can talk to you about my experience and some things that I found helpful. Let me know if you want me to do a little video on that. That's a sewing project I've got coming up. In terms of other sewing, I posted a little poll on YouTube yesterday, which it's about something I've mentioned before. So I love wearing dresses and skirts in the winter, and I often wear them with leggings, but sometimes I feel like I'm not warm enough, or maybe I want a bit more volume in the skirt. So I've been wondering for a while about making a petticoat. And when I suggested this, I think it might have been back in October or something, I said I was thinking about making a petticoat to go under. Somebody suggested, in fact, a couple of people suggested, why didn't I make bloomers instead? So I did a little bit of a poll yesterday, bloomers or petticoat, and bloomers came out on top. And I think I was, you know, when you do a poll, you're like, oh, I'm not sure. You ask somebody for advice, which one is it? And then so they give you one of the answers back, and you're either secretly disappointed or secretly pleased. Well, I was secretly pleased. So I think that told me that really bloomers was what I wanted all along. So I've got this little pile of fabrics over here. I have got this hemp cotton from Merchant & Mills. It's called drop cloth, and it's basically like a warm natural colour, if you can see. I feel like it's coming out slightly lighter on the screen. It's got a bit more of a creamy tone to it in real life, but I like using hemp. It's got a slightly more like historic textured feel to it, and I felt like for something like bloomers it would be perfect, seeing as it's kind of a historic item. I'm going to have a go at making bloomers, and I'm going to, yeah, I think I'm going to try and figure out a self-drafted pattern in the new year at some point. Maybe got a couple of days off from bank holidays around New Year and Christmas, so I might have a little go at it then. I need to think a bit about the style because I want it to be really comfy and easy and just pull on. So whether they're like drawstring or elasticated waist, I'm not sure. But I'm also thinking about the legs. I don't know if I want like a frilly leg or if I want it to be quite simple, or some other kind of detail, like maybe pin tucks around the ankle could be really cute. I'm going to have a little bit of a sketch and a little bit of a think about it, I think, over the Christmas period, but I'm quite excited, and I think this will be a lovely fabric to use. So I'll let you know what I get up to and how I draft them and everything, but I think that's going to be fun. So that's a sewing project I'm really excited about, and something that's been on my mind a while. The other sewing project that I'm going to do more of in the new year, or start, is making another version of my bilbo vest, because I'm really hoping that the pattern, I can finalise it in January and then get it out for testing, which I'm a bit nervous about. But in case you haven't seen it, I'm a bit obsessed with vests. This is a sewn vest made from a wool remnant that I embroidered around the neck. It's got quite wide shoulders, which I, as I said before, I quite enjoy, and it's got a relatively, well, not a high neck, but a higher neck than some of the other vests that I've seen, which is one of the reasons I made it, because I find it just quite comforting, and I think I quite like the shape on me, and sometimes I don't want a really deep V. So I designed this pattern, made it in this wool, I was really happy with it. I'm just making up some other versions, and I also designed it with a quilted vest in mind, so it could be double-sided and really show off the shape, and I think it'll be really cosy and lovely. And I've mentioned before that I'm thinking of, well, I am going to make a quilt for our bedroom. I need to experiment a bit with which sort of quilt block styles I want to use. So I thought I could make a mini version of that quilt as a quilted vest just to test out the colours and what quilt block styles I would like. So I thought that'd be a good practice run. And I've shown you already, but I quite like these earthy sort of fabrics. And I'll probably use scraps from the hemp as well to lighten it up a bit. I've got a nicer light blue in here as well. I really like those. They're kind of earthy, but they've got jewel tones in them as well. They remind me of beautiful sort of winter days, you know, when you've got the really deep blue skies and the trees are brown and purple and orange, maybe even with some snow. So yeah, that's just feels like a really comforting, like deep autumnal wintry palette. I think that will make a really nice quilted waistcoat and quilt. So yeah, I'm going to have a little practice run over Christmas with my vest, and then once I've decided a bit on which quilt block style and colour combos and things I want, I'll get started at some point in winter on my quilt. So you'll probably be ready for the next winter. But yeah, I really like these colour choices. I do also have this gingham. I'm unsure whether to include that as well, but I think maybe it'd make it too busy. I might just stick with solids. What do you think? Include the gingham or just the solids? Or there's various bits of scraps of quilting cotton, of hand loomed blocked cotton. No, I don't think that's the right colour. Anyway, these ones I think will definitely be part of it. So these are my sewing plans. In terms of knitting, I've been working away on a couple of different bits. I've been making some Christmas presents. So I've been making some socks for my mum. I think I might have shown you this sock before. I'd done one of them. It's the colour Bluebell by West Yorkshire Spinners Signature Sock Yarn, which is a really nice robust sock yarn. I think it's made such a pretty sock. And I started when I was doing some markets this winter, well, like the last week and the week before, I started on this second sock. So I just need to finish this so I can give that to my mum for Christmas. Yeah, I think they'll be quite a sweet pair of socks. She's hoping to get an allotment, so this will be really nice for her, I think, to be all cosy. Either way, she does dog walks and things, and I think warm socks are always welcome, right? So I've been enjoying those, just picking them up every now and again. They're quite a nice little portable project, which I always enjoy, having a smaller project to take around with me, like on the bus or to the pub. Hopefully going to the pub tonight to do a bit of pub knitting. One of my favourite things to do, especially now my partner knits, which is amazing. It's nice just to get out of the house but still do something cosy. And we've got this really nice pub near us, which is quite quiet, but that guy who owns it is just brilliant and does loads of gorgeous home cooked food, and there's just some nice local ales and a fireplace, and it's quite rustic and untouched by, you know, chains or gastropub vibe. So it's just quite rustic and nice and simple. So it's a nice walk up the hill for us. In fact, for the retreat, I've been thinking that if we fancied, we could always go and stop off for a little drink or a dinner there after a day of sewing. But that is just something I'm thinking about. There's lots of lovely pubs around the Cotswolds. Even if you don't drink, which I sometimes don't, it's lovely just to have the beautiful views from all the valleys and all the nice Cotswoldy stony houses and little lanes. Yeah, it's just quite a nice thing, I think, about British countryside, having them dotted around. They're a little home from home. I digress. So another knitting project I've been working on is this rota cardigan. I've been working on it for a while now, but I'm really enjoying it. It's coming up really nicely in this lovely yarn by Pigment and Ply. I've got some needles that have just arrived in the post that are the right size for me to keep going around because I hate doing magic loop and DP ends on sleeves. So they're just 30cm length circular needles. I think it's 3.25 or something for the sleeve. So I'm going to take this to the pub tonight and whiz along the sleeves, hopefully, because I've got a Christmas party next week with my knitting friends and I'd quite like to wear it. So we'll see. But yeah, really liking it. As I said in my Copenhagen video, I've got some non-superwash yarn to try making another version with in the spring. It's a sort of pale spring-like green, which I think would be really cute and very different to this slightly more silky autumnal shade from this yarn from Jess from Pigment and Ply. So it'd be nice to have two very different versions, I think. But I just need to finish the sleeves and do the button band. So we'll see how I do. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. It would be nice to have it done some point around Christmas. But I'm loving how the colour is knitting up. The autumnal shades are just so pretty, and yeah, rich. They really remind me of all the lovely trees in October and November. I'm a bit sad about trees at the moment because we live in a sort of 70s housing estate. Despite I tried to make my house look like a cottage, it is not. And there were loads of beautiful trees all around, and it was one of the main things I liked about the area. And without warning, the company that manages the housing estate just cut down like 20% of them, including this beautiful, beautiful rowan tree right outside our window, where we always watch the birds like feeding and doing birdie things. And we just realised that one had just been gone as well, I think, while we were out. Anyway, so I'm sad about that. Okay, and then a finished knitting object is this knitted hood. So this is a self-drafted pattern. I've wanted to make a hood for ages, and then when I saw them all in Copenhagen, all the kids wearing them, I was like, I have to have one. So I made it in some Norwegian wool. It's called Cardigan, I think, by Sandnesgarn. Yeah, there you go. And it's in the colourway Poppy. I made 3 different versions, or I ripped it back 3 times, I think, before I decided on this shape. And I'm really happy with it. It's got some cool details, I think. That's the top, that's the head. And then I've got some shaping around the back. So it does, because it's all in stockinette stitch, it shapes nicely around the back of the head, which makes it quite comfortable. So you see this nice curve. I'm really happy with that. It fits nicely. And then I've got some rib around the face and around the neck. And I've cast it off in a tubular bind off, or Italian bind off. So it's got that nice sort of disappearing stitch edge, which I think makes it just look a bit smarter. I also made it because I love being down on my allotment, and sometimes it's quite windy and I get cold ears and my hair's everywhere. And I thought it'd be quite practical. Sometimes hats aren't quite enough for me, and this really keeps you warm all the way around here. So I'll show you, but I've also got a better video that I can show you as well. But to put my glasses back on, so I need to weave in some ends, but I think it's really cute. I'm really pleased with it. It's really cozy. I love the detail up here, and I really like the fact that it warms my neck and my ears. And I wanted to have it so that it shows a little bit of hair, but not so it was so far back that my head was actually cold, because I've noticed that with some of the other patterns. And I wanted to be able to, wear it with a jumper or a coat, and it just sort of tucks in nicely. So I'm super happy with it. It's a bit hot in here to keep wearing it and talking, so I'm going to take it off. But I'm so happy, and I've made all the notes, and I'm going to make up another version just to make any last tweaks. And then I thought I would ask for testers, because I think it's a really cool, versatile pattern, and I'm just really happy with some of the changes I made to it and the fit details and things. And I had a good response to it when I shared pictures on Instagram, so I thought maybe you guys would like it too. So yeah, I'm gonna finish writing this up, make another version of it, make sure I'm happy with it, and I'm gonna make another size as well, a slightly smaller size and a bigger size as well. And yeah, it will be ready for testing hopefully soon. But I hope you like it too. I'm really happy with it, and it's quite a nice simple make. Each one has only taken me a few 2 or 3 days, So it's quite a simple one. It's knitted in double knit, and there are some techniques like picking up stitches, increases and decreases, cheaper to bind off, but I might just do a video on all of the different techniques needed for it so that you can skip ahead to bits if you're not sure about how to make or how to do different things. But I'm really excited about it. I think it's super cute. I think it's quite like folksy, Little Red Riding Hood inspired in the woods. I'm gonna have to go do a little woodland photo shoot for it. But yeah, let me know what you think. I think it's quite practical and beautiful, and those are the two things I quite like from my clothes. So yeah, let me know what you think about it, if it's something you would like. It does bring me on to my last point of my video, which is related as well, is it was suggested to me that I should think about starting a Patreon. So I know a lot of other podcasters have done it, and I'm subscribed to some of them, and I love it as a space to share a bit more content, a bit more in-depth stuff, a mixture of posts and videos, and I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go. I think there's a lot more stuff that I want to share, and there's a lot more that I don't necessarily have time to put onto video. And you know, making videos does take quite a lot of time alongside a full-time job. So I thought if I had a go at Patreon and I could share more different types of content, videos, posts, tutorials, and then it enables me to continue making all the things I want to make for you guys. There's quite a lot in my head that I want to get out there, different like patterns or tutorials and ideas that I want to share. So I feel like it's probably a good platform for it. I'll tell you a little bit about it. So there's a tier where you can join it for free, and there's going to be some things that I will put on there for free. The first paying tier is one called Threads, and I put that at £3.50 a month. That one is going to have all of my more in-depth videos, so more tutorials, more deep dives into my wardrobe. I'm going to put more fibre folk videos on there. I love doing all the research into folklore and fibre history for those videos, but they take me so much longer. So I feel like that's probably a good place for them. But I do love them, and so I'm going to do more of them there. And generally some posts about folklore and different sort of crafting practices and crafting history. I'm really excited to dive into that a bit more and share that with you. Also, there's going to be early calls for pattern testing like this on that tier, and also access to some of the patterns as I make them for free, and some of them will be discounted. I'll also post, you know, early information about events like retreats and things there. And then the other tier, which I'm incredibly excited about, is a seasonal box subscription. And this is going to be something I send out 4 times a year. It's going to be one for the spring equinox, one for summer solstice, one for the autumnal equinox, and one for winter solstice. And it's going to be a little physical goodie box that you get. They will always include a seasonal illustration from my art, which is Fibre Valley art. I should have really have a prop. Here's one of them. So they're all fibre inspired. This is just a little like free business card, but I'm going to put a full-sized postcard or greetings card in each of the boxes. They're all fibre-y related and seasonal, so they will all have one of those. I'm also going to be doing a lot more natural dyeing next year, using some non-superwash British wool, which I'm really excited about, and I'm going to dye up some mini skeins to pop in the boxes for you. So some things will be little bits of naturally dyed yarn, it will be hand quilted pieces or scraps to make your own quilts, and lots of little seasonal goodies and surprises. So I'm really excited about that one. I think it'll be like a little crafty club that we can have, and we can all show what we make from it and what inspires us, and it'll also be sort of reflected seasonally. So I'm going to be choosing seasonal ingredients to dye with and being inspired by the colours of the moment. So I'm really excited by that. You can pop a comment in as well and let me know if you're not a knitter but you'd prefer fabric scraps, or if you are a knitter and you prefer skeins. like mini skeins, or if you would just like a surprise, then let me know. You can pop that in there. But I really hope you join me. I want it to be a really sort of collaborative, lovely, cozy community, and I'd also like to share a lot more with you. And you know, financial support is hard when you are a creative, and it's hard to sort of make a living from, and it's something I want to spend more and more time doing because I've got so much energy and so many ideas about it all. So if you would like to come and support me on Patreon, the link is going to be in the description and the bottom of this video. And I would really appreciate it if you would come and join me. And I hope that there's going to be so much lovely stuff in there that you would really enjoy it, especially the seasonal box subscription. I'm really excited. I'm still waiting to release my first patterns. There aren't any patterns in there yet, but I am really close with this knitted hood, and then hopefully in the new year there'll be my Bilbo vest, and I've got lots of other ideas, obviously. Can't stop, for 2024 and beyond. So that's just a little bit about that. Let me know if you've got any questions about it. It's, you know, something I've been figuring out as well over the last few months, so pop any thoughts or questions down in the comments, and yeah, I hopefully see you there. But if not, thank you very much for listening to my YouTube ramblings, and I hope you really enjoy the content here as well. I'm going to continue posting here as I do at the moment, but there'll just be all the extra bits over on Patreon for those of you who want to get a bit more involved. So those, I think, are all of my projects that I've been doing. It probably hasn't been a shorter video in the end after all. I did mention a bit about natural dyeing, and I'm really excited to do this in January. I've got lots of plans for the different shades I want to make. Obviously there's a lot you can't predict, that's nature, and that's half the fun, natural dyeing. But I've got this big Jameson's cone, which is Shetland wool, and I can't wait to start dyeing some of it up. I'm hoping to make a Farewell cardigan out of some of it, and I've got others of these as well for my seasonal box subscription. So I'll share a bit more about my natural dyeing as well. I'll probably do a lot more of that on Patreon, so it's a lot more in-depth and instructional, and it's quite, you know, it takes quite a long time. So a lot of that be over there, but I will also give little updates on YouTube as well. So I hope this was enjoyable for you and interesting and cozy. I would love to hear what you're working on. Are you doing any Christmassy presents? Are you making stuff just for you, which is great? Or are you thinking about plans for the new year? Are you taking a break from projects and just relaxing and enjoying this cozy season, which is also an excellent idea? Let me know what you're up to, what your thoughts are. And then I will probably do another video, maybe around the end of December, a little reflection on the year, and some of my things that I'm most excited about for the year to come. So I hope you'll join me for that as well. Yeah, thank you for listening to this. Please check out my Patreon if you are interested, and hopefully see you next time. Have a cozy rest of December.